beautifuls, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Seduce Me, the visual novel game. This time we're going with Eriks' role. I'm hoping to get the happy ending. I'm like seriously devoted and dedicated to get this super happy ending. I went back earlier, well, you guys didn't know, but I was going through back to Sam's storyline and I think I almost got the happy ending. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play out all the story. Like all the guys. Like we only have Eric and Eric and I don't remember his name, but the guy with the glasses I will eventually remember. But we're going with Eric, and then we're gonna end off with the guy I don't remember his name yet. But once we finish his off, I'm going back to all of the guys and mash it up in one video of their happily ever after. Hopefully I get it though. I hope. So we're instead of going to the part where it's my dad calling me and then I need help with the house, I'm starting from the way beginning. Well, not super all the way to the beginning, but near the intro. And I'm siding with Naomi all the time. Try again. I think I remember everything. I'm not quite sure. Be calm.
But it looks so creepy.
And this, we're gonna say sure. What's his name?
That explains
James.
the luggage
I knew
you bought
it, but
in
I
when you
wasn't
came
quite
to.
sure. Be cool. Be cool. We're not gonna slap him because I did that option sometimes. Like maybe they like me being violent, but they don't.
Yes.
They don't really do any of that. Okay, somewhere around here. I have to be careful at what I pick. Because I don't remember everything.
Don't.
Okay, it was somewhere they were laughing. Because Sam and Matthew were like eating like crazy. Okay.
Eric.
So what are we?
Finally.
Okay, this is where they start digging in.
Really, you two? You're both acting like pigs.
Oh, let them have a little freedom, James. It's not like we've eaten recently either. I'm sure they've been starving.
Still, that's no excuse for stuffing their faces like backyard swine.
There, right there. I have to be careful with that. Because it makes them happy because they, we're laughing. They're visitors.
Then why did one...
Help around the house.
Are you sure?
Yep, positive. We're going to help with Eric. I stayed in the dining room knowing that the table had to become a buffet table. As I looked around the room carefully, I noted that the floor needed waxing, and the table surfaces needed major dusting. Eric came up next to me, lowered a small mop and bucket he had brought in onto the floor, and rolled his sleeves up higher on his arms before looking at me with a raised eyebrow.
Are you sure you want to work with me with cleaning this place up? It'll be a lot of cleaning and tidying. Plus, we have to move the chairs to the corner.
It's okay, Eric. I shook my head, rolling up my sleeve and walking to the table, grabbing a hold of a chair. I think I can handle lifting a couple chairs and moving them. Eric smiled at me with a soft chuckle before following my lead. Eventually, we had moved all the chairs to the corner of the room and had begun cleaning the room and the table. Silence consumed the air as we both focused on cleaning. I decided to start mopping the floor, but as I stepped towards the bucket, my foot rolled over a small fluffy object, causing me to slip. It's the little thing Matthew made me, I bet you. Before I hit the floor, however, I wound up in the arms of Eric, staring up at him in a dance-like dip while gripping onto his shirt. His face was of pure concern as he held on and looked down at me.
Are you all right, princess?
The princess. just not. Yeah. We gotta be romantic and shy and stuff, but then we have to be bold at some points. All I could do was nod as I stared at Eric. He was genuinely concerned. There was no flirtation or smirk on his face. It was cute to see a new side of him. Eric let out a small sigh in relief.
That's a relief. You didn't twist your ankle, did you?
No, I'm fine. Gently, I felt Eric's arm dip under my knees so he could lift me up bridal style. I gripped tighter onto his shirt before he sat me on the table and knelt down to look at my feet. I'm really fine. Eric didn't speak as he gently looked over my ankle, lightly massaging them to test for pain. I didn't feel any pain. I felt pleasure. I bit my lip as Eric gently massaged his finger over my skin. This is totally not weird. Foot massage. I don't know, personally for me, feet are the ugliest of ugliest for me besides armpits. It's feet and armpits for me. It's just But you know, if you have a foot fetish, you do you, boo boo, but no. For me, ew. I've had foot massages before, but Eric had amazing skill. Each touch and press sent a wave of pleasure running up my spine. I had to fight to hold back a moan. Weird. Eric's face, though, didn't shift to any mischief or seduction. It remained as concerned as ever. He was full of surprises. Eventually, he finished looking over my feet and smiled in relief. He slowly stood up and smiled his usual smile at me with a small giggle.
You were right, princess. You were fine.
Just the princess. It's just the little pet names that just gets to me. Eric gently lifted me off the table, lowered me to the floor before placing a swift kiss onto my forehead, such like a prince, and continuing his work. I stood there for a moment before slowly walking to the bucket and cleaning as well. My heart continued to pound as we both finished cleaning that room. We gotta be confident. I hate this, yo.
I'm so sorry.
This. Thank you.
Do you have
What do you think of the...
Do you think the company...
Okay, we're gonna do all this.
You're welcome.
We're gonna follow him to be nice. Leave him alone, you. I don't know what to say at some of these things. Let's explore the house, because I think exploring the house does help us a bit, because we learn about them. We're gonna disturb them. Because I kind of like that point. Eric, he seems like chicken rice kind of person. Find one of the incubis. I returned to the backyard, hoping to find an incubus there. Incubus still there. Luckily, my gut feeling was right. Eric was beside the gazebo, looking to a small flower that was growing on the rail of it. As I approached, Eric turned his head and smiled his usual smile.
Hello, princess.
Hello. Hey, Eric. I got some lunch for you.
Really? You did not have to do that, princess.
Okay, you don't have to call me princess every time. It's cool. No, it's fine. Here. Eric smiled and took his food, eating a little bit before looking to the flower again. Out of curiosity, I looked as well. It was a simple white daisy in full bloom. Eric shook his head and chuckled softly as I joined him in the flower gazing. I love gazebos and flowers. It's just like a perfect scenery for like young love and all that. Or forever love. Not young love, but you know.
Sorry, I was simply reminded of home.
Home? Of a daisy? Huh? Oh, no, you're fine. What about home where you're reminded of? Eric looked to the sky with a soft sigh and smiled before looking to the flower again.
The castle, mainly. Despite us not being there anymore, it was still our home.
Yep.
We grew up there our entire lives as brothers. There wasn't a day that went by when we weren't all doing something exciting. It was an empty excitement, of course, but it was still something that bonded us all together.
Empty excitement? Eric slightly trailed off, looking lost in the nostalgia of his thoughts. I didn't know if I wanted to bother him while he remembered something so obviously important to him. Please tell me more. Eric turned to me with a slightly surprised look.
You wish to know more?
Of course, I mean, if I get to learn about you, sure, why the hell not? Why not? I'm really curious about the place you lived in, even though I know a lot about it. Like, I already played 3 guys before you, so yeah. Eric nodded before looking to the flower again. After a second, he gained a look of realization before looking to me again.
Would you like me to show you something instead?
I tilted my head in confusion, but nodded nonetheless. What I was expecting could not have prepared me for what I saw. Eric gently brushed his finger against the petals of the daisy, making it gently quake in his touch. As the daisy abnormally shivered, its petals gently shifted from white to purple. The yellow censer gently faded to a pink hue as the stem began to burn black. I could only stare as Eric plucked the flower from its place and presented it to me.
Watch closely.
Oh my god, magic! I kept my eyes to the flower as Eric began to mutter something. It sounded close to Latin, but I wasn't sure. Regardless, the flower began to glow in Eric's hand. Small crystal-like spores floated up from the pink center and began to form a circle in the air. As the circle closed, the center filled with smoke, forming a screen of some sort. It was misty, so I couldn't see anything. What is this?
Just watch.
Okay. I raised an eyebrow, but I followed his instruction. Eventually the mist faded away, revealing a large throne room. It was all of stone and tile, with the throne itself covered in red fabric and gold metal. Despite it being a mirror image on a magic mirror, I felt small looking at the side of the throne room. Wow, that looks amazing.
That's our castle. It's a wonderful place. Servants and parties galore.
Oh. It looks prettier like this. Does your father sit on the throne when he's at the parties?
Very much so. He despises dancing and socializing, so he makes the throne his home.
Same here. I don't... Dancing and socializing... I first of all, I don't even know how to dance. And socializing, I'm not really great at that. So I'd rather just lay low. Do you think he's still there now? I must have struck a small chord with Eric because he hesitated before responding. Eric smiled only slightly.
We don't know. When we left, we didn't look back. However, we are sure he's still there, since no one followed us out of the abyssal plains.
No one did, huh? I bit my lip. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. I felt really bad. However, I didn't feel it for long. The magic suddenly stopped and faded away while Eric dropped the daisy. As the daisy turned back to its white and yellow color, Eric dropped to a knee, groaning in pain. Eric, are you alright?
Yes, princess. I'm fine. I just used too much energy, that's all.
I dropped to a knee to try and examine Eric closer. His face was pale while his purplish eyes shifted back and forth between purple and gold. His breath was heavy, which concerned me. He used too much energy? That meant he needed more.
Please don't worry, princess. I'm fine. Don't worry your beautiful head about it.
I felt responsible. I had to help. I quickly grabbed Eric's face and tilted his head to angle with mine. Shifting myself closer, I brought my lips to his and kissed him deeply. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how he got energy before. I shut my eyes, waiting for the draining feeling to reappear in my body. However, Eric grabbed my shoulders and forced me back. I opened my eyes and stared into his frightened golden eyes in surprise. At the same time, I noticed a pink hue run across Eric's face. What's wrong, Eric? I mean, you kissed me before, and that was when I wasn't doing the move, so...
Princess? What are you doing?
I'm giving you energy? What else? I don't know what... I don't know what, but I felt both irritated and accomplished at the question, and at the look he was giving me. Where was his flirting? Where was his cocky smirk? From what I remembered, he took advantage of me when we met, yet now he was somehow inferior to me. I grabbed his hand and removed them from my shoulders, tying my fingers with his. Damn, I'm like effing dominant. I would never do this in person. I'm trying to help and give you some of my energy. You used your energy to show me that sight, so I want to pay you back for that. Unless you don't want me to help.
Well, I've already taken your energy once before. I just...
You just what? That was before. I want to give you energy now. Just let me. All of a sudden, I felt that familiar feeling of warmth run through my body once again. I felt my body slightly heat up as Eric quickly released my hands and wrapped them around my waist, dropping to both knees in front of me. Oops, I'm like messing around with my lip gloss. He stared at me in desired gaze as he pulled my body to his. Eric leaned his forehead to mine, letting the tips of our noses gently caress each other as he spoke. The Eskimo kiss.
You spoil me.
Oh god. Totally not sexual at all. This is the most sexual ever. Before I knew it, I was on top of Eric as he laid on the... I'm at the bottom of Eric. Okay. I was on top of Eric as he laid me on the grass below. I stared wide-eyed as he pulled me into a hot and passionate kiss, with a gentle hand on the back of my head. Eric's other hand rested on the small of my back, while I rested my hands on his chest. I moved myself to straddle his hips to be comfortable in his kiss. The energy from my body was slowly draining and making me feel light and warm. It was almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in this situation. Still, I held no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss. While Eric held me, he gently rolled us both over, so he was on top of me. Okay. Kissing me hotly and holding me tightly. I was tempted to wrap my legs around him, but I remained focused on the kiss. It was better that I was on the bottom anyway, with my energy slowly fading from my body. However, the feeling of the drainage suddenly stopped as Eric pulled away and looked down at me. I stared up at him as we both panted for air. I had never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment that I'd forgotten how to breathe. Eric, however, didn't move from me, but moved a strand of hair from my face, eyes still full of desire.
I'm completely full. And yet, I still desire you.
Oh my god, this voice. I could feel the hold of his hand, mind altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give any more. Just keep going, girl. Yeah, I'm not... I read this part plenty of times. I don't want to read this out loud, okay? Okay. However, I began to feel dizzy, seeing the sky start to spin almost wildly. I crept to Eric's shoulder, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt a very soft pain on my neck and shoulders, and I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently and healing. However, when I looked down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned as if nothing happened between me and Eric. I was just missing my ribbon. Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied in a nice bow around the daisy. Oh, it's so cute. Eric picked with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
You've spoiled me, my princess. I am eternally grateful that you let me indulge like that. Have a good rest.
You're very welcome, I guess. Okay. I looked to the time out of curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m. Yikes. 4 hours of being knocked out, and I still feel tired. It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. And of course, I would take the... okay. Before I could reach the hand on the door, however, someone took my hand. Huh? I turned to see Eric, who was holding my hand back with a concerned frown on his face.
My name.
What's your name, Eric? Your name?
My true name isn't Eric, miss. I want you to know my real name, if something were to happen.
Of course. His true name. Oh, wait, it's not her. His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? I remembered reading about a demon's name from the journal I read yesterday. If you knew a demon's true name, you could summon them to you, no matter where you were or where they were. Eric gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Uzeris.
Uzeris? Uzeris. Okay. Different, but okay. As he said his name, I could feel it lock into my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. Eric pulled away and smiled at me, despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
If you are in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
It's so adorable, like you can actually call them and they'll come to you. It's cute. In reality, you can't do that, because we don't have super hearing. I stared up at Eric, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. Eric smiled before kissing my hand and heading to the dining room. Something told me that name would be used eventually. We're gonna glare into her soul, because something cool happens. I glared hard at Lizette, feeling wisps of air and magic run through my skin and veins. However, I stopped at what I had saw. Around Lizette was a dark purple aura that seemed all too familiar. It was like demon magic, but it seemed to be tamer. I slowly rose to my feet, collecting my belongings as I continued to stare at Lizette. Something was off. As I continued to look at her, the aura grew, forming a shadow behind Lizette with red eye-like shapes glowing from within its darkness.
Anderson, you alright?
Nope, I'm seeing a devil right now. I couldn't respond. I was entranced by a small hum in the air. It was distant, almost like an ethereal whisper you hear in horror games. Oh, I hate that. But it was real. It sounded vaguely of a woman humming a tune I didn't recognize.
Hey, are you okay?
Let's go. We'll be late for class. I suddenly felt the need to walk away, so I did. Naomi and Suzu scrambled to catch up and follow up my new quickened pace.
Sheesh, Anderson. You look like you saw a ghost.
I did.
Are you really okay? That fall was pretty bad.
Nope, not okay. Saw a ghost. I'm quite scared. You guys have to hug me, because that's what best friends do.
Think she saw underneath Lisette's cake face and saw the devil itself.
Hey, you're talking too legit right now, Suzu. I did.
Oh, Suzu, hush!
No, something was wrong with Lizette. It was more than just her being mean. There was something or someone watching over Lizette. Or they were watching me behind Lizette. Oh, this is when we didn't know about Diana. What they were doing, I didn't know, but it was definitely demonic. I forgot the name, sorry. All of a sudden, a bright purple light engulfed the room, causing the devils around me, including Iris and Malix, to cover themselves.
What the?
Gusts of winds brushed past me, almost forcing me back. I covered my face with my arms, bracing myself and standing on my ground. I tried to peek through my arms to see what was going on, but the light continued to shine brightly. As the gust slowly started to die, the light began to fade, revealing Eric. Eric.
Did you miss me?
Why, of course. I called you. However, the seductive smile that graced his lips quickly disappeared as he turned to Malix. As Malix lowered his arms, Eric glared.
You really are evil at its core. Kidnapping an innocent woman like you did. It's disgusting how we demons are confused for your kind.
Look at this little man-whore Eric right here, boys.
Man-whore?
Might as well sleep with a disease.
Oh my god, that's so terrible. Devils around them laughed, including Iris. I felt a twinge of anger, but Eric must have taken it from me and added it to his own. Eric flicked his wrist and arm across his body, producing a small whooping noise through the air. However, Max hissed and reached for his cheek, as if the air had slapped him hard. What the... When the Malix removed his hand from his cheek, I stared wide-eyed at the large slash that was revealed on it. A mixture of red and black blood gently dripped from the wound, causing Malix to growl angrily at Eric.
So, pretty boy thinks he has balls, huh? Well, time to make this pretty boy a dead bitch.
Oh my god, the way he said that. All of a sudden, Malix lifted his gun towards Eric and pulled the trigger. I gasped and tensed up, not believing what I was seeing. As I braced myself for Malix's bullet to empt itself into Eric, however, a large ethereal tendril shot up in front of Eric's body, sprouting from the ground by his feet. Quickly after the bullet evaporated into the tendril, several others appeared, forming a dark purple crown around Eric's body.
What is that?
He's a prince.
Did you expect me to come unprepared the second time around? Thanks to my lovely princess, I can now use the full extent of my powers. Unfortunately for you, that means I'm afraid you will lose this fight.
God.
You cocky little shit!
Malix charged his energy and began to fire bullet after bullet at Eric in anger. However, the tendrils danced across Eric's body with ease, blocking each one as if they were mere pebbles to the wall. The remaining devils stared, trying to figure out what to do, help Malix or watch in silence. Iris, however, walked up beside me and crossed her arm as she watched with an amused smirk on her face.
Die already!
Eric chuckled before snapping his fingers, causing a row of tendrils to appear behind him, pointing their sharp ends at Malix and continuing to fire bullets at the incubus. The tendrils uprooted themselves and floated into the air, straightening out to large spikes, before quickly splintering into multiple thinner spikes. I could only stare, completely lost and intrigued at the sight as Eric flipped his hand across his body again. It's like Tokyo Ghoul with the thingies behind those guys, and it's like psh, psh, psh. I mean, if you guys watch Tokyo Ghoul, you would really, okay? At Eric's command, the spikes flew at Malix, slashing and stabbing into his body. They were thin, barely making pencil-sized wounds, and only a few went into his body. The others scraped and scratched at his skin as they flew by. This didn't kill Malix, however. Oh, this is a lot of reading. Malix growled loudly before charging at Eric, causing the incubus to slip back in a slight shock. Malix pointed his gun at Eric, closing the distance between them, and fired as the barrel almost reached Eric's face. Instead of the bullet ripping into Eric, a large explosion forced both away from each other. Malix bounced off the far wall and landed on his knees, groaning in pain. Eric, however, slid across the ground, landing on his stomach. My throat hurts really bad to scream right now. So, Eric. Malix slowly planted a foot into the ground to stand, but froze before doing so, staring at Eric's body. Eric, on the other hand, slowly rose and turned to face Malix head on. I had an air bubble. Eric reached a hand and wiped off a small stain of blood that had painted the side of his lips before growling almost animalistically. At that moment, something in the air changed. The air instantly went from frantic to still and energy. It could have been described in tone as the color red, quickly turned into a deadly mix of purple and red as everything began to blend together all at once.
How persistent. I guess I'll have to go all out on you to finally rid the world of you.
Was this the extent of demon power? My eyes never strayed from Eric's face. However, even as it changed, his eyes began to glow a bright golden color as Eric began to walk towards Malix.
Let's end this.
Malix leaned his gun and fired at Eric, but the bullet never made its target. As the shot erupted from the barrel, the ethereal tendrils erupted from Eric's back, creating a wing-like barrier for the bullet. Malix stared wide-eyed as Eric's tendrils absorbing the bullet and grew almost larger in size, and in number with each step Eric took. Eric's skin slowly began to morph and shift, changing from human to something else entirely. Something about Eric grew dark and menacing, and this transformation was making him even darker. Before I was allowed to see Eric's new form, however, a pair of hands quickly covered my eyes instinctively. Instinctively, I reached up and gripped them, trying to pull them off. A voice stopped me.
It's me. Don't look.
And this is where we're gonna stop. Timer went off. I think we made quite a lot of progress. Lots of reading for Eric. He's not talking as much as I would like because my throat is like, ugh, because I had to read that entirety. But Eric seems, I would think he would be more seductive and stuff, but it seems like he only acts like that as like a shield for his I guess low self-esteem or something. I don't know, but he probably uses it as a shield, and he pretends to be another person when he's not. Like, you know, everybody has two worlds. Like, we act differently when we're around family and how we act around like a total stranger. So I guess that's like Erik's kind of shield, but either way, each guy is different, so it spices up this game a bit. I'm still loving the game. I'm hoping after we finish all the storyline, I'm going back to the ones I didn't get the super happy ending, and I'll just mash it up into one video for you guys to see what it would be like when we had the super happy ending. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for watching and stay beautiful.